Thanks. It's great to be back at Ecosummit. My talk today is entitled Conviction Investing in a Changing Market, and really that's a bit of a euphemism for us. I think we're seeing a bit of a downturn in the market. The good news is the reason I've been working in the space for 25 years is the transition to sustainable energy is the most reliable investment trend in history, and I'm going to talk about how we get through this downturn by being smart and working together. So those of you who were here last year might remember this slide. So this is about populism and the impact on climate change. We were predicting a Trump victory in the US election, and that happened. And that's deeply significant for what we all do. It will have huge negative impacts for clean tech companies in the US, but obviously it has an impact on what we're doing today. So I'm going to talk about what we're doing at Kiko Ventures, what our portfolio companies are doing in a very different world in 2025 to 2024. Three things that we want to focus on with our portfolio and our new investments. The first is partnerships overseas, so that the populism, the politics is not uniformly distributed. The second is around resilience here in Europe. And the third is around disinformation, which is becoming a really significant factor in investing and building businesses in our space. Let me start with partnerships. So the companies we invest in typically have very strong IP, and they're targeting global markets. So we here in the global north are rightly very worried about populist anti-climate sentiments, but that's not true everywhere. And there are economies globally that have long-term industrial strategies around climate and are making massive investments. And this includes China. I don't think we can make investments in these technologies and not really think carefully about what China is doing. Massive renewable deployments, massive technology developments. The list of logos on this slide are some of the corporates that our portfolio companies are partnering with. It's not easy, but those companies and those economies and governments are committed to action on climate change. So we've worked extensively in Asia, we're continuing to work in Asia, and increasingly now also in the Middle East. The second area is around resilience. Another consequence of populism has been tariffs and trade wars and an increasingly insecure world. So we in Europe need to think carefully about resilience. That's our energy systems, grid and grid flexibility, which is a great area for new investments, getting supply chains in Europe. It doesn't mean not working with Asia, not working with China. It does mean having our own supply chains. And finally, European primary energy supply, not just wind and solar, which are doing brilliantly, but also complementary renewables, things like geothermal, and investing in new areas. So you'll hear later on today about our new investments in natural hydrogen, the company Mantle 8. And one of the great exciting things about Mantle 8 is the prospect of very large quantities of hydrogen here in Europe. So that's a European energy supply opportunity. The final area is around disinformation. So I've been working in climate for 25 years. I've seen political sentiment change one way and the other. This is different now in the 2020s. There is a really significant quantity of disinformation. So that's deliberate, incorrect information around climate change, trying to get delayed action, denying that climate change is real, and proposing solutions that aren't realistic. We're investing in countering that. So we're an investor, but we also support an organization called the Energy Transitions Commission, which is a very homogenous, transparently funded think tank with people from all over the world funding it. And if you go to the ETC website, we are now putting a lot of information out there about the climate facts, which is incredibly important. So there are all these conspiracy theories around 15-minute cities, Chinese solar panels. This is real. I'm encountering people in the City of London who are believing some of these things. And the message to this community is we all have a role to play. So get the facts out there, but also partner with organizations that are taking on this stuff, because at the center of it is a profit motive. So people are putting this information out either to protect vested fossil interests or for the attention economy, people online who are sort of drawing attention to their own internet platforms. So So this is an incredibly important area, and I can't emphasize enough, we all have a part to play in it. So in summary, this is a difficult area. I've been through something like this before in the 2010s. There was a real pushback against clean tech. We recovered from that. We will ultimately get there. But I think we as a European community have to play smart at this period. There's a great future, but I think the way we've been doing a lot of the investment, business building, partnering, commercialization needs to change as we face this more challenging environment. Thanks very much.